that we are all of us, artists, or we at least have the capacity to be so. Because it's not so much a matter of creating a great work as it is learning how to see and see deeply and to translate that vision into something concrete and to do it as often as you can. This guy is Nick Offerman. He's an actor. He's on Parks and Recreation. If you Google him, though, what comes up at the top in the search results is his woodwork, because he's a master craftsman, an artist, and a woodworker. And he said that craft carries a lot of medicine. It's for your own good if you can find something you can make. And I actually believe that's true of all art making. This is my husband, and his art making is chipping away at limestone. And for me, it's not a matter of utility or perfection, certainly not perfection. It's not even necessarily a matter of having gobs of talent, and if you do, all power to you. It's a matter of making your mark on something and being willing to give it a try. And once you do that, once you make that mark, you enter a continuum that's vast. It spans millennia. It is full of artistic creativity and endeavor. And you're part of the same continuum as this dude who tagged the Pont du Gard in France in the early 19th century. In order to tap into this, though, here we go. One of the nice things about being part of this continuum is that it brings us closer to other artists whose work that we may admire. So I look at this guy who carved this angry fish, and I see his perverseness, his individuality, and I see him as a person like me. And to get to that point, we have to be willing to put down a lot of the devices, the iPhones, the tablets, the Instagram. This has been early tablet, by the way. And in order to be able to see a little more directly and deeply. And when we do this, we can take ourselves out of our comfort zone. And I recommend that we try that. We make or stitch or carve or build something. That project may result in something big, or it may be something personal. You don't have to wind up with a 2- or 3-story bamboo installation on the ceiling of the Met in New York. It may be something very personal. What matters to me is the process and the notion that we are learning to see more deeply. It becomes a habit of mind. We look closely at things. We follow line and contour, shape, absence, form, texture. It becomes a kind of meditation, and hopefully it becomes something that we can fold into the rest of our lives. The fact is that we're not all Frida Kahlo. These are pages from Frida Kahlo's notebook. But we can be like her in allowing our artistic vision to spill into the rest of our lives, whether it's a notebook or something grander. My doodles, which are here, are not like Frida Kahlo's doodles, but I carry a notebook with me most everywhere I go, and this is how I translate my experiences. They're for me. They're not for anybody else except in an environment like this. I don't care about perfection or utility. In fact, for me, this is my favorite slide, by the way, for me, one of the challenges is to let go of ego and to not worry about creating something that you might one day sell. A lot of us kind of go there immediately. So in other words, don't aim for an Etsy store right out of the gate. Make it a process. Be a kid. Be willing to play. Be willing to throw stuff away. And when your art making doesn't become a special occasion, and you're not worried about making art with a capital A, then you enter a really interesting realm. And you're in a place where that endeavor spills into everything that you do. So you may create a gas utilities cover that's on a street in Toronto that makes me stop and take a photograph because I follow the lines and the form. And this in turn makes me look elsewhere, and you've transferred your vision to me, and you've encouraged me to look where I walk and where I live and see the possibilities of form and line, in fact, art. There's an expression, maybe Voltaire said it, that the perfect is the enemy of the good. And we should all remember this when we try this kind of artistic endeavor, because the search for perfection can kill joy. Be willing to try over and over again. And in fact, the main thing to remember is to do art whenever, wherever, and with whomever you can. Be willing to get your hands dirty, get dusty, look for collaborators, look for teachers, love the learning curve. Just do your art. This is a piece that's over on Showers Plaza. I think it's called Art on a Stick. And I love this piece, and I love this image because it reminds me that there is always the possibility, right at our fingertips, to see art, to make art. And all we have to do is accept that. I'm up here because I've talk to so many people who go, yada, 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 I'm not an artist, and that's the end of the conversation. I think this is a path that we can all take if we can sharpen our vision and just walk the walk.